Hi, Glenn Phillips here with Lake Homes Realty and lakehomes.com. Today I want to talk about how are lake home buyers different. And I don't mean like do they have weird personality traits. I want to talk about in buying a lake home, how do they work differently than people who are just buying a home to live in as their primary residence across the country. There are several ways. Of course you're going to say, well, it's at the lake, Glenn, that makes them different. Well, I'm not talking about the property. I'm talking about the buyer themselves. So if you're a buyer, think about these traits. If you're a seller, you want to be absolutely in tune with how the buyer of your property is going to interact and think versus if you're selling a home that's just a primary residence, perhaps in town, in the city. So one thing about a lake home buyer is their position about money and financing. Over half the transactions our agents conduct across the country are cash. That's right, over half are cash deals. And those buyers who do decide to take out a mortgage are almost always approved for those mortgages. We almost never have real estate transactions fall apart because of lender disapproval of the loan. And if you think about it, a lake home is a discretionary property. No one has to buy a lake home. So if you can afford to buy a lake home, whether you're doing it with cash or a mortgage, you're typically in a very good financial situation. And so getting financing is not a problem. In fact, one of the interesting things when interest rates were crazy historically low is that we had cash buyers who were getting mortgages as a hedge against inflation. They're very smart with their money. Now as the interest rates have climbed, they're more likely to pay cash again. Or if they do need that mortgage, they're going to already, lender contingencies are not going to really be a deal. Another thing about a lake home buyer is motivation. And they really fall into two categories. There's the group, for some reason, they got the fever. They've been to the lake, they've been with their friends, they've seen a house near where their friends have a house or a lake, they just want to be there, and they're on fire and they're ready to move quick. But the bulk of the lake home buyers are motivated for a lifestyle, for a dream, and they are thinking about this of what is my dream lake home? And their motivation is not necessarily getting in a home for shelter or because school's starting or a job start. They're thinking about motivation of what is going to make us fulfilling? What's our dream? The lake home is the gateway to future memories. It's the one to get the grandkids to come, or where the couple want to retire to be alone. It doesn't matter. They have a different motivation than we need to be close to school and work. The lake home buyer also has a different thought of time frame and motivation, of patience in their time frame. Like I said, there's some people that get the fever and they're very impatient. But the bulk of the lake home buyers, because they're chasing a dream home, are very patient. In fact, first contact with one of our agents to a transaction, a purchase, averages 2 years. Now, some of them have gone 6, 8 years. And we have some who buy almost within a week of contacting our agent, with a day of contacting our agents. But the average comes out to about 2 years, which is just unheard of in real estate because people are often driven by timing such as, oh, school's starting, we need to be in this house, or we've moved for a job and my family needs to get here, and they're either going to sign a lease or buy a house and be done. But the lake home buyer, they are patient. They will wait for the right house, for the right pricing. They don't have to buy the home. It's often a second home or it's a retirement home in the future. So they're very, very patient. And then the last thing about you want to know about how lake home buyers are different has to do the impact of the economy. Now, it can be said when there's difficult economic times, people are going to retreat from discretionary purchases, and they may not want to go buy the new car. They may not want to buy the new TV because they're waiting. But the lake home buyers, who tend to be a more affluent, remember it's a discretionary purchase, may actually during economic uncertainty, there's a group that will say, I'm uncertain about the economy, I'm going to wait. That's the confused mind says no. But there's another group who'll go, look, I'm looking for times in economic uncertainty to make a great investment. This lake home buyer is not going to overpay for a house. They don't necessarily have to have a steal. They're not looking for foreclosures, but they're looking for a fair deal that they can park money that will be a holder of their revenue, of their investment dollar, versus something that's more like stocks, is fluctuating wildly. It feels like a more stable item. And there's such a demand for lake homes in all economies that they know they can get money back out of that property. Will they make money or not? That's a different question. But the lake home buyer is maybe thinking about it in economic uncertainty as a great investment opportunity. So if you're thinking about buying a lake home, these are things, if you've never done it before, to keep in mind. If you're a lake home seller, you absolutely need to know about who's thinking about buying your house. And if you've never sold a lake home before, these are things to keep in mind. You're welcome also to talk to our agents who are lake experts about lake real estate across the country who, again, we're patient. We don't necessarily have to help you the day we walk in the door, but we want to be a resource to be available, help you understand the lake home buyer is going to be different, and help you get the maximum amount for your investment in your lake home when you decide to sell, even if it's not right now. Hope these tips have been helpful, give you a bit of the mindset, whether you're buying or selling. And be sure and visit us at lakehomes.com. We have thousands of properties for sale at lakes across the country, as well as other tips and videos. Thank you and have a great day. For more information, be sure to check out lakehomes.com.